Hey, what's up guys? I'm Steve Wells, and today we are going to be talking about starting running. Something that I've honestly done a few times over the past 10 years. First time's always the hardest, but it's something that I know a lot of people are doing right now because gyms are closed or you don't want to go to gyms, and it's just a good time of year to be out there running. So I just want to be clear, this is not a training plan. There are plenty of them out there if you want to find one of them. But what this is just going to be some tips and advice to, one, make you stick with your running and do it consistently so that you can try to do it longer term, as well as not get injured in that process, which is a big one. So with all of this stuff, I just want to say up front, don't take your running too seriously, especially when you're just getting started. This is meant to be something like playing basketball or football or frisbee or whatever else you might do. It's supposed to be enjoyable. You're supposed to go outside and get some exercise and have fun while you're doing it, which may sound crazy to some people that have never run before, but once you get into it and you start being able to go a little faster and you start finding the joy in it, not taking it too seriously, that's when it gets fun. And letting it be fun, not taking it too seriously, is how you're going to be able to do it consistently. So how do you go from thinking about going running to actually running? So different people will give you different advice, but my advice is to go out for a run. That's what I ended up doing 10 years ago that got me into running. And my dad talked to me, dragged me out the door. We put on whatever athletic clothes we had, whatever shoes we had, and we just went for a run. You might be in horrible shape, you might not have the right gear, you might not have the right shoes. It doesn't matter. Just get on whatever you have, go outside with the intention of just running a little bit. If you run 20 feet and then you gotta stop and walk, and then in 5 minutes you're able to run another 20 feet after walking a little bit, that's totally fine. Just getting out the door with the intention of going for a run is going to be much better than sitting on the couch watching TV thinking about maybe starting running someday. A common thing that I notice with people just getting started is looking at pace, looking at mileages, looking for apps to track it. But in my opinion, whenever you're first getting started, you can maybe put on Strava or something like that on your phone, put it in your pocket so that you're not looking at it every 10 seconds, and just go out for however long you feel like is long enough, at whatever pace you feel like you should be doing, and come back. Maybe look at it afterwards, but you don't even necessarily have to do that. Whenever I was starting running, I didn't have a watch, period. I didn't have any kind of watch. So what I would do is I would look at the clock on the kitchen stove, I would go out for a run, I would come back and I would say, okay, seems like about 20 minutes. Maybe I'll try to go a little bit longer tomorrow. And that is totally fine. At this point, you are working on cardiovascular fitness and all of that kind of stuff, but you're also working on just building the love for running. And if you can work on building that love and getting more familiar and comfortable with going out for a run, having people look at you while you're running, possibly feel like they're judging you. Once you get comfortable with that is when you're going to be able to start doing it more consistently for longer distances and start liking it more. One thing you have to be careful about when you're first getting started is doing too much too fast. It's the quickest way to get back to doing nothing. If you go out and run 20 miles, which honestly I think anyone could do. I think pretty much anyone could go out, walk 20 miles, but the training is what makes it so that you can walk the next day, that you can go for another run a week later. You can go out and walk 20 miles today if you're in horrible shape, but tomorrow you're not going to be able to do another workout. In 4 days you're not going to be doing another workout because you're going to be too sore and you're going to be injured. Avoiding injuries is a main thing that you have to do to be able to run consistently, and in order to avoid injuries you have to, 1, not overtrain, and 2, do other things other than running along with your training. Other things can include stretching, which a lot of people don't do. Come into the store, can't figure out why their Achilles is hurting so bad. I ask them, well, when was the last time you stretched? When was the last time you used your foam roller? And they hesitate and they say, well, can I have a shoe to fix this? And there's no shoe that can fix that. And you need to put in the work if you don't want to get injured. So stretching and strength training, which I try to do, are the best ways to avoid injury. So that includes not only some upper body stuff if you want to do that, but I always thought, I'm running, that's a leg workout, right? So I don't have to do anything else. But there are lots of different muscle groups, which we can maybe get into in a different video, that are going to not be worked as much when you're running until you start getting tired. They start compensating for other muscle groups, and then you end up with shin splints, end up with knee pain, and that kind of thing, which could have been avoided if you had done a little bit of strength training 2 days a week during your training. So I would say if you're just getting started running, to go out for maybe 20 minutes, like 3 days a week to start with. In between, on your days off or after your run or whatever you want to do a little bit of light stretching, do some hip exercises, some knee exercises, some calf raises, maybe a few push-ups if you want to throw them in there. And that little bit consistently over a few weeks will make it so that you can build up to doing longer and longer distances, but doing it in a sustainable way that's not going to end up with you laying on the couch with ice on your shins, not being able to run for 2 weeks. So I hope this video was helpful. Let me know down in the comments if you like this format of video. I was thinking maybe about doing kind of a series like this in between shoe reviews so I can keep putting out content whenever I'm working on getting more miles in a couple different shoes that I'm running in right now. But I hope this video was helpful. Be sure to like and subscribe down below, and I will talk to you guys next week.